Have you heard of the heart-wrenching story of Sarah Baartman? Hey, I'm Bisi Akins. In today's episode of All Things Africa, we are going to explore the life of Sarah Baartman, a woman whose legacy lays the brutal realities of colonial exploitation and racism. So let's get right into it. Picture the early 19th century. A time when European curiosity, driven by a misguided sense of scientific discovery, led to the exploitation of countless African individuals. Among them was Sarah Baartman, a Khoikhoi woman from South Africa, whose body became a spectacle for European audiences. This is a tale not just of one woman, but of the pervasive dehumanization and objectification faced by Black individuals during this era. To understand Sarah's journey, we must start at the very beginning, acknowledging the various accounts that document her complex life. Sarah Baartman, also known as Saatji, was born in 1789 into a Khoisan family near the Gamtoos River in the Xhosa Kingdom, now part of the Eastern Cape of South Africa. Imagine a young Sarah, vibrant and full of life, growing up in a world rapidly changing under colonial rule. Her childhood was marked by profound loss. She lost her mother in infancy, and her father was killed by Bushmen while driving cattle. Raised on Dutch European farms, Sarah quickly learned the harsh realities of her colonial environment. A free Black trader named Pieter Cesar appeared in Sarah's life, offering what seemed to be like a glimmer of hope: a move to Cape Town. There, Sarah worked as a washerwoman and nursemaid, eventually becoming a wet nurse for Peter's brother, Hendrik Cesar. Sarah later formed a relationship with a Dutch soldier, Hendrik van Jong, only to have it shattered when his regiment left Cape Town. Allegedly, Sarah had 2 children, both whom tragically died in infancy. However, some accounts suggest she had 1 child with a Khoikhoi drummer who was killed by Dutch colonists. As we can see, Sarah's life was already filled with heartache, but this life took a dramatic turn when she met Alexander Dunlop, a Scottish military surgeon. Dunlop, who had a side business of supplying British showmen with animal specimens, saw an opportunity with Sarah and suggested that Sarah travel to Europe to be exhibited for profit, capitalizing on the European fascination with her physical appearance. Despite initial hesitation, Sarah eventually agreed and traveled with Hendrik Cesar to Europe in 1810, though the extent of her consent remains a matter of debate. Upon their arrival in London, Sarah was thrust into the public eye as the Hottentot Venus. Imagine the crowds, their eyes wide with curiosity, paying to see Sarah's body displayed as a spectacle. However, her exhibition did spark some controversy, especially given the recent abolition of the slave trade. The African Association, led by abolitionist Zachary Macaulay, campaigned for her release, leading to a court case where Sarah testified that she was not under restraint and was entitled to half of the profits. Yet, historians question whether her testimony was truly free from coercion. Sarah was then later taken to France, where her conditions worsened. She was exhibited under harsher circumstances by Jean Rio, an animal trainer. In Paris, she attracted the attention of scientists, including Georges Cuvier, who examined her to study traits supposedly typically of Khoisan women. Sarah's life in Paris was marked by poverty and misery, with her body being displayed at wealthy parties and private salons. Sarah Baartman died on December 29, 1815, at the age of 26, possibly from smallpox, syphilis, or pneumonia. Unfortunately though, her death did not end her exploitation. Georges Cuvier dissected her body, preserving her remains to support his racial theories. For many years, her skeleton, brain, and genitals were displayed in French museums. After years of activism, including a pivotal poem by South African poet Diana Ferris, Sarah's remains were repatriated to South Africa in 2002. This effort, significantly driven by Nelson Mandela, who made a formal request for her return in 1994. After extensive legal and diplomatic negotiation, France agreed, and on August 9, 2002, Sarah Baartman was finally laid to rest in the Gamtoos Valley, her homeland. Alright, so I know that was a lot of information to take in, so let's take a little break. What did we actually learn in this episode? Well, firstly, we learned that Sarah Baartman's life story is a stark reminder of how colonial powers dehumanized and exploited African individuals. Her experience highlights the cruelty and objectification that characterized this dark period in history. We also learned that Sarah's journey from South Africa to Europe exposes the pseudoscientific racism that permeated European society. Scientists like Georges Cuvier used her body to support dehumanizing racial theories, revealing how science was often manipulated to justify prejudice and inequality. We further learned that the return of Sarah Baartman's remains to South Africa, driven by the efforts of the likes of Diana Ferris and Nelson Mandela, is a testament to the power of resilience and the importance of cultural reclamation. Sarah Baartman's story underscores the profound injustices faced by many Africans during the colonial era. Her journey from South Africa to Europe and back highlights the resilience she embodied despite the profound injustice she faced. Sarah's story inspires us to confront systematic injustices and honor cultural heritage, highlighting the enduring impact of advocacy and the reclamation of identity and dignity. By remembering Sarah Baartman, we honor her legacy and commit to challenging and changing the narratives that have oppressed so many for so long. Thank you so much for tuning into this episode. If you found Sarah Baartman's story insightful and meaningful, please like the video and share your thoughts in the comments below. But most importantly, don't forget to subscribe for all things African.